Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Good to see you, my guy. I feel like it's been a minute since we haven't recorded a week and a half, but I'm doing well. Had a very fun weekend. Had friends of the fiance visiting. Had a ball. I survived. I behaved, and God is good. How about yourself, bro? How was your weekend?
Nice. It was pretty good. So I had to find a new barber, which it's always like sometimes a trauma. It's like feeling like you're breaking up with a girl or something. Like,
so really, you're officially, before you talk about the new guy, did you officially break up with the old guy? Like, you're done?
No, this dude posted some cryptic message. He canceled on me last minute, like cryptic message to all his clientele, and he's like going through something right now. Like, sorry, I'm gonna canceling for the foreseeable future.
Oh wow.
Totally like fine with him taking mental health break, whatever he's doing. But I'm like, yo, I still need to get my shit cut by somebody.
Yeah. Like, I understand it, but that's also not my problem. Like,
right. Exactly. So I found this guy on the same app I used when I first got to the Bay, and it turns out I didn't realize it till I got there, but it was the same guy I had tried 2 years ago.
Okay.
I ended up I didn't go to him more than once because his lineup was a bit off, and I was like, you know, I just moved here. Let me just find someone who I'm super confident in. So I was a little nervous. I'm like, shit, like he might mess it up again, but turned out like even better than I had expected. I like it more than the other guy.
Nice.
He just does subtle things that the other guy doesn't do. I don't even know how to describe it, but like there's hair in the back that the other guy doesn't shape up. This guy like gripped my fro and like did something to it and got all the stragglers chopped off. So nice. It was good. Got a compliment at Costco. So that felt
that's
nice.
Good. When a random gives you a compliment, you're like, bro, I know I'm killing it right now. Like, but questions. What was the reason you stopped? Like, you did try him out 2 years ago. Why didn't you keep going back to him?
Because the lineup was like crooked, and I think he even admitted it. Yeah.
Got it.
And he like admitted it, and I was like, cool. I mean, the haircut wasn't bad, but I'm like, I definitely can find other people. So I found someone, I liked him, but then he started kind of like not doing things that I liked, and it just so happened he's going through something, so I had to find a new guy. But now I'm definitely gonna use this guy as my regular. His prices went up too. They must all be colluding and just putting it up $5.
What's the price to cut your hair right now?
Average rate out here right now, the cut's 40. So 40 to 50 is kind of the average price in California in general, I would say.
And you're giving, so do you leave a tip on that? Or is that
I leave a tip. Yeah.
Nice.
Like $5.
Yeah, same. That's what I do, bro. So I do 45 as well, 40 for the haircut. Dude, honestly, I think the haircut's like 30, but I just give him like ever since like I got the stuff done, and like now it's a little bit, I get it's harder because he's like, I can't just go vroom. It's like, all right, touch this, do that, don't touch this. So I get it. I just give him 45, but I'm like, bro, I don't want change back, but also don't ask me for more. Like that's like the rule that we fucking have.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it sucks. Yeah, because like, dude, my guy, like his, I'm not gonna say any names, like he had a family member get injured, and he's like, oh man, I gotta cancel last minute. And I'm like, bro, like, fuck, man, I know you have a life, bro, because I have one too. But like, you gotta come on, bro. Like, this is not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, so it's so tough, bro. Because again, like our point, like 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, like these are the one people who like, when they disappoint us, it really hurts the most out of any relationship in our life.
For real. Yeah, because you can't really just go to any other barber. This isn't
correct.
Some Fantastic Sam's type shit where you just want a simple, cut off every little follicle of hair. So yeah, I was kind of in panic mode, and I didn't even really have a whole lot to do except this weekend. My sister-in-law, like I mentioned, is visiting for her birthday. So obviously a lot of people around, and I just want to have a good haircut. So fortunately he came through. He's only available on Mondays, which kind of pisses me off because I do technically work. It is work from home though. So I was able to kind of sneak out from lunch and get that done.
Hypothetically sneak out, like not actually sneak out.
Yeah.
Oh man. But you know what's funny, just to go back to something you said, because I've had this talk with another one of my boys, and he was like, it's not that you can't go to any barber, right? But we can't go to any barber, right? Because I have plenty of my Caucasian and Indian friends that will go to anybody, bro. Oh, I need to get my hair cut. I'll go to a salon. I'll go to a fucking Lemon Tree, Supercuts, like all these like franchises, bro. And I'm just like, yo, you are out of your fucking mind. And bro, again, this might sound sexist. That's more than fine. I'm all for equal rights and equal pay. Bro, if I walk into a barbershop and you point me in the direction of the female barber, I am leaving that barbershop, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, call me sexist for that comment alone. That's fine, bro. Like, there's a line I draw. Like, you can cut guys' hair. You just can't cut my hair.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And I used to, this is like back in my no swag days when I was a little kid, but I used to go to Fantastic Sam's and it would always be like,
that's like a Supercuts,
middle-aged,
right? That's like a general
franchise. My mom actually used to take me to a black barbershop for a while. I don't know why she stopped, but ever since then I was going to Fantastic Sam's and it'd always be some middle-aged woman doing like a super, like mediocre's saying a lot, doing a mediocre job. And I walk out of
but she probably just didn't know what the fuck to do with your hair. She's like, I never cut hair like this. You're the one time I have a black kid in my seat. Exactly. Let's see what happens today.
Right. Like, no, for real. But thank God those days are behind me. But I also hate, like having to explain the cut I want and where the designs are and stuff. There's something special about just walking in. They say, dap you up, say same thing. You're like, yeah, and then done. You just sit there and get it.
The only difference I ever had now, he's like, do you want the eyebrows done today or not? Like, because that's like an every other week thing.
Right.
But bro, like, that's funny. So when were your like no swag days? Like, what age group was that?
In terms of hair, I would say I didn't really appreciate probably not even till maybe college. In high school, like I used to have my shit just completely like all over the place, like fro.
Okay.
So I never really got
shape
lineups.
Up here and there.
Yeah, and then college, I didn't have a fucking choice. I was in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. Like they didn't even know how to cut white people's hair. That's how bad they were.
Yeah. That's when you really hope that like someone on your floor cuts hair.
Yeah,
like,
my fraternity brother, my black fraternity brother, I had to go to him, but it was like he had to be free.
Yeah, and he's not really like a barber either. Though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I'm not paying him, so I can't like demand he's like showing up every other week or whatever.
Yeah. That's funny, dude, because that actually happened to me. So like one of a guy I knew from freshman year of college, he came to like the local like bar on campus. I was still a freshman, but like you still eat there and stuff. And he saw I had a nice lineup because like before my mom left, she drove me to like a good barber shop. But I didn't have a car freshman year. So I'm like, bro, I'm asked out because I'm never going to be able to go back to this guy unless someone drives me, right? And no one had a fucking car then. Yeah. So he saw that I had a good haircut. He was a sophomore. He's like, bro, like, I cut hair for dudes on campus. Like, he's like, bro, I will pick you up, take you to my crib, cut your hair for $25 and bring you back to campus. I was like, bro, this is the greatest deal in the world, right? But bro, like, then it started becoming inconvenient. I stopped going to him. But I really want to talk about a time where, that's why I asked you, like, when was your no swag area? Because, like, dude, growing up in the Bronx, like, I had all the best hood barbers, bro. Like, I had two guys on rotation. One fucks up, I just walk up the block to the next one. So I would say until the age of, like, 13, my lineup was always crispy, bro. But then I moved to India. And then if you know Indian hair, bro, they did not know what to do with my Dominican head. Like, bro, it was wild, bro. Like, yo, if you think you had a bad lineup, whatever, 2 years ago, bro, they don't even know what the fuck a lineup is, bro. Like, they were just like, the shit was like this. Like, yo, like the that part right there was like back here on this side, normal on this. I'm like, bro, how did you do it right on this side? But you couldn't, bro, bad, bro. Like, I remember I would go back to New York in the summertime. They'd be like, bro, what happened to you? So yeah, man, having a good barber, especially for kids of like, you know, minority cultures or like just our texture of hair, man, it's a must, bro, because you just can't go to anybody.
Yeah, no, for real. And it's so inconvenient to find good people too. Like in high school, I didn't really have a car or access to a car till the end. And even then I was like, where the hell do I go? This is I think like before Yelp and shit. And there was a spot near the house, like on the way home. It was, I think like a few Middle Eastern dudes. I think their hair is more similar texture. But I would just go to them and they just give me like a super basic like Caesar cut. And I just dealt with that for a few years until college, when my boy who was in that Big Sean video, like he was on the come up cutting for like $10, but he was doing a really good job. So I just kept going to him, and I'm like, all right, this is what a lineup is supposed to look like.
Correct.
And I can never go back to like one of those franchises.
You can, no, dude, there's no way, man. Like, there's no way. I remember when I lived in Charlotte, we're gonna move off this fucking haircut theory for a second. But I lived in Charlotte for 2 years, and like, again, like I just moved there trying to find a barber. I'm already like 24, 25, so I know what a good haircut should look like. And bro, like I had to go into the ghetto, bro. Like, risk my life. And I was like, I don't care, dude. This is it. Like, this is it, man. I have to. But it was either go like to somewhere that you're not, like, you don't live anywhere near, or go to like a franchise. Like, dude, I think like the new one is like All-Star Barber. Like, they have like this whole sports theme kind of a thing. Like, even the commercial, it's all like females in like referee shirts cutting people's hair. I'm like, bro, there's no fucking way that like me balding at 25, am I gonna trust for you to like save my shit? Cause like they're gonna be like, oh, it's just shave it off. I'm like, no, bro. Like,
yeah, the pandemic really, I think that's what showed barbers how desperate we were. Cause I remember my cousin
price went up the most.
Me and my cousin Vinny, we had to literally go to the depths of the hood to his like regular barber. I guess that shop didn't care about the rules, and like he said there was a dude with his gun exposed just chilling there. I'm like, this is how important it is. We're literally basically risking our lives.
Risking your life.
Fucking lineup that no one's gonna see because we're at fucking home all day.
Yeah. Dude, that's, facts, bro. But I think it's, dude, I go back to like, I would always say this, man. It's not like I didn't fucking like corner this comment, but the idea of like, dude, you can't look in the mirror every morning and not be satisfied with your appearance. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just wake up and like, wow, I look like shit, but I bet I'm gonna have a great day today. It's like, no, you're not, bro. You're gonna have a terrible fucking day. Like,
right? No, I feel you on that 100%.
Oh man, but I'm glad you found a barber. And as of right now, knock on wood, my barber hasn't fucked up. I've started with him making all my future appointments for the next like 2 months that same city. I'm like, all right, cool, bro. So on this day at this time, 3 weeks after that at this time, because I'm like, bro, there's gonna be no surprises here, bro. Like, I'm just texting you and you're confirming. I'm not asking you if you're available. You're confirming the appointment, not seeing if you're free. So that's been like my new approach with this guy.
Nice.
But before we move on to obviously the episode and topics at hand, everybody go peep episode 137. On all the platforms, it's called "Shall He Get a Pass?" Talking about Logic and all that controversy. But I did see some of your posts on your page for Blair Anthony. I love some of the captions you had. So you want to give people an update on how that stuff's going?
For sure, yeah. So I forget if I mentioned last time, but my new song "Could Be Worse" has already been submitted to all DSPs, so it'll be out April 20th. Right now in the, I guess, marketing promo phase of it. So been having a few clips on both TikTok and YouTube, just little snippets of the song and scenery. So one of them was a view of my apartment. And part of it was the intro of the song talking about my neighbors and their noise complaints, which is based on a true story. I don't know if they have against multiple true stories. But for some reason, when you came in, we blasted music, no complaints at all. Maybe they saw you and they're afraid of you or some shit. But
but then you got a complaint the next day. You're like, bro, there's no one here.
I know. Yeah. That's what was crazy. I think we were dead asleep for like 3 hours, and I was literally in my boxers, and security's like, yo, can you keep it down? And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing anything. And I know I'm in my boxers, but I promise I wasn't screwing either. So I don't know what they were hearing, but that snippet seemed to have done well. I'm gonna look into other things I can do, but I'm really excited about the live like video clip of myself reciting a handful of the lyrics, because I think that one's really good. It's kind of like the one I did for Reload,
nice.
But this time I'm gonna have the lyrics animated, so it's a bit more immersive, I guess, kind of like the Central C thing I sent you.
Yeah, dude, honestly, that's like when you sent me that Central C and just Blair sent me like a Central C clip for one of his newer songs. But dude, I was thinking like, oh, bro, everyone's like biting us because like his entire video, I was just thinking about our TikTok videos of like nonstop imagery and like fire emojis and all this shit. So I was like, dude, but my thing is like, if an artist of that level is doing it, clearly those little corny shits work. You know what I mean? To drive, you know, the algorithm to give you like more views.
Right. And that's the thing too, is like, I don't know, a few years ago, I thought it would be super corny to have the lyrics like popping up and animating and stuff, but everyone's doing it. And I think we really just are in this era where people are lazy and they want quick short form content. And if you don't have the lyrics and like spoon feed the fucking content to people, they just swipe off. So I think it'll do really well. So that I should be receiving the final version of that today. But in any case, I probably won't do the full thing until the day it's released, but I'll tease some stuff ahead of then. But really excited with how this one turned out.
Nice, dude. Yeah, it did, the snippet sounded really good. So obviously 420 is around the corner, which is crazy. Yeah, dude, that's like 2 weeks away. So excited for that, but excited to see the more of the content you put out. But let's get to it. Episode 138. So it's funny, we ended episode 137 shitting on the lack of new music, and then behold, we had like 2 new albums from artists that are relatively popular in modern day hip hop right now. So I want to lead off with the Tyler the Creator. I guess technically it's a deluxe version of his album, Call Me When You Get Lost. I think it's like the estate, or what's it called?
The estate sale, I think.
Yeah, the estate sale. So I think he added 7 or 8 new tracks. Fire tracks though, bro. Like I was like, bro, this is the most we're gonna get this year. Fuck it. Like I'll give him the gold medal. So what were your thoughts on the new songs he added to the project? Which according to him could have been on the first album, but it didn't originally go with the flow, so he wanted to hold off before sharing it with the world.
Sorry, I just literally missed the past 60 seconds of it. I don't know why my headphones disconnected.
Oh, no worries. I was saying, so what are your thoughts on the extra songs that Tyler added? Considering that he said it could have been a part of the original album, but didn't go with the flow. So like, what were your thoughts on the 7 or 8 tracks he added on the estate sale?
So I thought it was an enjoyable listening experience. Overall, I like the fact that he rapped. I think that's what stuck out for me, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of his recent projects, like it hasn't really been traditional rap, quote unquote. Maybe a handful of songs here and there, but I went back to listen to his older catalog, and it just kind of felt like more mellow spoken word in a lot of ways, and a lot of singing, especially singing that I don't even think was necessarily his singing. But in any
crazy
case,
autotune, because sometimes I sometimes I think it's not him either, but I'm like, yo, there's no feature here. So like maybe it is him, and it just sounds so different whatever autotune he's using.
That is true. So yeah, I think it definitely could be him. But I think similar to what you mentioned about Creed, it was a project that like I don't feel the need to replay. Like I don't think anything necessarily jumped out to me as, hey, like this needs to be on the playlist ASAP. There was a couple songs like What a Day. I love that sample he used. I also really like the Lil Wayne track.
Yes.
And in general, I like the fact that he seems to feature like some pretty random people I wouldn't expect for him to, like NBA Youngboy and 42 Doug, and then YG even. Like, yeah,
dude, I thought about you when the YG featured. I always just think back to Coachella when we were like, we kept saying the same phrase over and over again.
I know. Yeah, so that was crazy to me, which I think is dope that he incorporates those guys, especially because Tyler's such a like intricate, eclectic person. I don't know. I left the project thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of Tyler. I think I'm more a fan of what he represents than the majority of his music. Like there was a point in one of his songs where he talks about how, you know, the people that peaked in high school like aren't on his level essentially. And I think that really resonated with me. I think his image, he's just an unconventional Black man. and I think we need more of that imagery, like
I
the
agree with
Childish
that.
Gambinos, Tyler the Creators, like who the
Yachty.
Black community would call weird, but are just
Yeah.
like regular ass dudes. I think we need more of that. It helps balance the culture out and fight negative stereotypes, in my opinion.
No, dude, I agree with that take for sure. I think if we have more creatives like Tyler, it also helps put those stigmas away that, like, you know, they pigeonhole, you know, hip hop artists like this is all you can be and don't be anything else, right? Like when we complain about drill music and like they keep feeding in and pandering to that.
Right.
I mean, dude, I would say I guess from your comments, which I get all fair, I would say I enjoyed this more than you. I always have thought of. I mean, again, I saw him perform. Call Me When You Get Lost live, bro. Like, and that set for me was like, yo, I can see how you've won hip hop artist or hip hop album of the year back to back. Like, bro, like it's a fucking experience, man.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of these songs, like, dude, like especially that song with Vince Staples, Stuntman, bro. Like from the jump, I was like, yo, this is it. Run this shit back 4 or 5 times. Speaking of samples that I fucking fell in love with, the song Heaven to Me, I'm pretty sure that's a sample from Common, like back in like 2003, 2004. Like I could be wrong and someone tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm like very confident. Again, I know I've heard that before. Obviously Common sampled it, like Kanye sampled it for him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like for us, like where our ears are like, yo, where the fuck have I heard this before? That was the one that was like, oh man, like that's such a like nostalgic moment for me right there. And then bars wise, dude, I really enjoyed, I don't know which song it was, but the one that he's talking about, like, yo, how am I gay if all you dudes want to do is impress other men? Like, do you remember that? I was like, bro, that's fucking genius, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's been like a common, I don't think I've heard it in music. I know a lot of people do make fun of men for driving sports cars and stuff that like only other dudes will appreciate. I think it's a little oversimplified, but I do think it's fire, and it's funny how a lot of these dudes do.
Yeah, it's super oversimplified, right? It's a massive stereotype, but I think it's accurate, right? Like when you're talking about like, you know, like for me, for example, when I rock certain sneakers, bro, Gina's like, why do you wear that? I'm like, because they're fire, right? But like, I want like you said, you got to compliment your haircut. Like I want a dude to be like, yo, where'd you get those from? You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I get it. Like I fall into that fucking stereotype as well. But I think there was enough funny moments like that or bars where I can see the creativity, but also like purposefulness of like pushing a message out that I really fucking enjoyed, bro. Like I thoroughly enjoyed those 7 tracks. I did only want to listen to them like as their own, like almost like second album, right? Because I'm like, bro, I already know the first 14 tracks. And I guess to his point, like, I don't think it was cohesive to go from track 1 plus the new tracks. Like, it just didn't sound the same to me. But yeah, I enjoyed it, bro. I would say out of those new 7 or 8 tracks, I would rate that on itself like a B+, A-. Because like, I just really enjoyed the sound he was trying to create.
Nice. Yeah, I'd give it a solid B. I feel like this project in alone was very cohesive. But I think that's the thing for me. I feel like his music almost plays like an audiobook to me, and the whole time I'm like, but I need to see this live,
bro.
Like,
in order to truly appreciate it. You'd be like, oh my good, yo, crazy.
But like, then I thought to myself, but I would never see myself handpicking like 1 or 2 songs from this and being like fully satisfied. Whereas for some artists, I feel like, and I don't think it's better or worse, but some artists, you're like, I can pick 3 songs from this album and not feel like I'm missing part of the main course or whatever.
Got it.
Whereas this, it's like, if I pick track 2 and like only listen to that, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing right now?
Yeah, it's a full body of work that you have to kind of immerse yourself in. No, I get that take. I want to ask before we brought up another topic on the rundown. There was another album that I think was highly anticipated, and obviously I think you have more ties to this artist than I do. The Great Escape, Larry June, and The Alchemist. Every song was produced by The Alchemist, obviously, which we love, and obviously I know you have ties to family-wise from back in the day. Did you get a chance to peep that?
No, I mean, it sounds blasphemous. I did not have a chance to peep it. I definitely need to. Um, I don't know. And I don't want to like dive too deep into it if I haven't heard it or even heard much of Larry June's music. From what I gather from my friend who's a barber who actually cuts his hair, I think a lot of the music is like, if I had to encapsulate it and put it in a genre, it's like get money, player, like smoke music.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of these different types of music, like I have to be in the mindset to really appreciate it. Like I don't know if I can listen to Larry June just like passively at work and really be like fully immersed in it. So I have to set aside time to appreciate it. Maybe tomorrow night when I take out the hookah.
Nice. Dude, so that's a funny, because you fucking stole my take, bro, because that's the thing. I've never not been into Larry June. I just never looked for Larry June. The thing is, I've been around people that love his music, right? Like they talk about him like he's not one of the GOATs, but like there's a reverence for Larry June in hip hop culture, right? Like he's an independent artist, but it's like on all the major platforms as far as like Complex or Rap Rate, like everyone's talking about him with like such respect for his music ability itself, but like what he's been able to achieve for himself as far as fame and wealth. But dude, like I try, especially for the Alchemist part, because I was excited about the Alchemist. We're talking about him with Hit Boy. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, dude, if I can get 14 tracks with the Alchemist and like there's an Action Bronson feature, there's like, dude, the feature list of this album is actually pretty impressive. So I'm like, dude, how the fuck? Like he must be good if you keep getting all these big names to co-sign you.
Yeah.
But bro, 4 songs in, and I'm like, this ain't for me. And like that, and I came to the conclusion, bro, I'm like, yo, that's okay. Right? Because I'm not going to shit on it. I'm not going to praise it. I will praise him for having the pull that he has, for being still niche, but still mainstream at the same time, right? Like me, a non-Larry June listener, was still like, oh, fuck, that album dropped. Let me download it and see what comes of it to me, right? Regardless of the podcast or not. But bro, I gave it 4 listens and I was like, man, this isn't for me. Like, and I can't, that's okay. It's like, bro, there's pockets of hip hop with, you know what I mean? That's just not for me. And the shit sometimes that I listen to, I know isn't for everyone either. But Larry, like, I respect it. I respect what he is and what he's achieved, what he continues to achieve. But that's just not for me, bro. Like, it's just not. Like, even though I love Action Bronson, like, that song didn't make any fucking sense to me. The Big Sean song, I was like, bro, like, is this like the beginning of Big Sean's career? Because I'm just like, they're like, I know, like, it just, the flow was like off. And I'm like, dude, this isn't, like, I don't want to poo-poo this. So I'm like, let me just stop listening, bro. Because I don't want to, like, I didn't want to come to the conclusion. I'm like, yo, I hate this shit. I was like, let me just stop. Because I know it's not bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up too. Because I was thinking the other day as well. And my brothers were having a conversation on Instagram, and they weren't shitting on the music, but we were talking about like the Big Sean video, and one of them was like, my cousin, I think, was like how did he get so popular? Like I don't understand, not from a place of hate, but like kind of like with Youngboy, like at a certain point, right, and as avid music listeners, that's an uncomfortable feeling of like, how come I'm not getting this? Like, I want to hate it for a specific reason, or I want to love it for a specific reason. But when it's like that murky area of like, I know the shit's good, but for some reason it's not hitting me. And I don't know. I think generally for me, I like music that makes me either want to like dance and bop my head or get me in the feels. But if it's kind of like the middle of the road, like just kind of chill and, you know, we're getting money and smoking, then I'm like, I feel like I need to be in a very specific headspace for that. Like in a Corvette with the fucking top down, smoking a joint, and I just like got a new job that paid me triple or something. Like, you have to be so specific.
It's so specific. Yeah, dude. And honestly, same. Like, I like bangers or like introspective, like weird, right? But like introspective hip hop that's like, I guess you only listen to this high. Because again, I listen to I'm at the gym or I listen to it high. Like, those are my 2 things.
Mhm.
But even high though, like it has to be like a playlist in my like feelings energy, right? Like
Yeah.
again, like with this, again, not to shit on it, bro, but it just feels like it's so monotone and it's just this, right? And then I'm like, bro, like, but I know the Alchemist beats aren't trash. Like I know this, right? If this was an instrumental, I would probably listen to it. But just as an overall product, I'm just like, nah, bro, this isn't for me. It's just not, bro. And I'm like, stop listening now because I don't want to I don't want this to pop onto my boy's house. And I'm like, bro, take that shit off. Like, it's okay. Like, we can vibe to it, whatever. But like, yeah, it's just not, bro. It's very much, I think one of my boys said it best when we were talking about it on the boat. Right, I can remember last on the boat. He said it's like an acquired taste. Like, you really, 100%. I think, have to truly deep dive and just listen to it nonstop where your brain's like convinced, oh yeah, I like this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a handful of people who are like damn near obsessed with Larry June. I will say he does have like some catchy phrases here and there. So I think there's a lot of like other things that people are gravitating towards that that other artists may not be doing. So he's been good at branding himself. Like for instance, I saw a snippet of an interview and apparently like one of his catchphrases is like he'll say like, "Good job, Larry." And they're like, "How did that start?" And he's like, "Well, no one would tell me good job." So he's like, "Why not tell myself and give myself like, you know, positive reinforcement or whatever." And I thought that was dope. And I guess people just like those little funny, you know, catchphrases and stuff he'll throw in there, and it'll make people laugh, but then it'll make them want to tune in even more. And I guess he's just like having fun and like, you know, living the life, and people kind of just like seeing that shit. I think that was kind of like Nipsey's appeal in a way. Like a lot of people think he's overrated, but I feel like
but he was melodic though, and
he did melodic. He had bangers.
Beat selection. Like again, I don't want to. Because when you compare, you immediately poo-poo one person. So like I don't want to. But I get it. I wonder, dude. I was thinking at this right now, maybe because Larry June's from like the West Coast, right?
He's from the Bay, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's from San Francisco.
So I was thinking maybe this is like he's like New York City's answer in like the early 2000s to what like Jim. And this might be blasphemous for like high key Larry June fans, because like this rapper I'm going to mention isn't a very good lyricist, but well respected. Yo, I was thinking like Jim Jones. Right? So when Jim Jones was like in his heyday with Diplomats, bro, this guy was beloved, right? Like everyone loved his appeal, his approach. Everyone knew the lyrics were like mediocre at best, but like, bro, I believe everything he's saying. You know, it was everything but the music. I wonder if like that's the appeal for like a Larry June fan. It's like, I wonder if they think he's like lyrical as fuck, or they just like everything he represents, and he also happens to rap decent enough. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's everything he represents.
Jim Jones he's a good enough rapper. You know what I mean? But like, it was really like Jim Jones' persona that kept people engaged for so long.
I would say I would liken him probably more to Wiz Khalifa. I like Wiz Khalifa's by no means a bad lyricist, but you would never go to him for crazy bars. Sure. I think it was like he's dope enough. He has smooth beats and lyrics, and he's just like has that like infectious, like swagged out, unbothered player vibe. Yeah, and I almost feel like some people.
It's tough though for me though. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it's. I'm trying to find the word for this, but it's almost like a fashion statement in a way. Like you're listening to the music, like it kind of like rubs off on you, and you're like. It's you in your player mood or something. Yeah, for sure. Well, Wiz is tough only because like that comparison is tough for me. I get what you're saying though. It's not the actual music; it's the idea of the artist, right? It's tough though because when I hear Larry June's music thus far, it's so anti-bangers, right? So whenever I think of like Wiz, I remember those early years where it was like everything was a banger. You know what I mean? So the idea to even compare Wiz to someone who's not giving you like moments of like lose your fucking mind, right? Because dude, I remember like when I heard "Ink Your Whole Body Up," bro, I was like, we're going to the tattoo artist tonight. You know? Yeah, no, that song was fire. Maybe Currency is a better example. I feel like they're all like within kind of the same category, but I think
I would put Currency from what I heard of Larry June alone, I would put them in whatever like tree of hip hop, like they're on the same one or two branches.
Yeah. Like if you had to curate a concert and fill and please, you know, one audience with several artists, Larry June and Currency together would be a no-brainer.
I think so. Yeah. And I think if you listen to Larry June enough on like Spotify, the algorithm will start filling you in with like Currency songs as well.
Yep. And then Jim Jones.
Yeah, they're like, if you like this from New York. No, but for sure, but I think it's that, dude. Like, I think, because again, like you said earlier, like when your cousin was making that comment about Big Sean, it's like, dude, as people who love music, right? Like, I need to love it or hate it, but I don't think there's no way that someone's a Larry June fan for the bars. Like, you know, like for the messaging. I just truly believe like it's you love the idea of this artist and you're so convinced it's real and almost like a part of you that you're like, fuck it, man, this guy's the man. And again, that may be such a terrible take, but like it's hard for me who's been listening to music nonstop for 34 years, bro, to be like, I don't get this. And that's like, because even like fucking like pop songs or rock songs, right? Like I won't listen to it every day, but like I'm like, I get what this is though. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like, and with this, bro, I was like lost. I'm like, bro, like how is nothing resonating with me whatsoever?
Yeah. I mean, as a California native, I will say, I don't know what his demographic is. Like, I would assume a lot of them are from the West Coast. I think there is a nostalgia factor at play because a lot of the beats do sound more old school West Coast. And if you're from the region, like you're already kind of used to that sound. You probably miss it. And he does it, that sound.
He really does it in a cool way though, right? Because I definitely got from every song and the videos, like he's just a fucking dope dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, it's almost like Nate Dogg or like when Birdman would rap. It's like, bro, we know like you ain't saying shit, but bro, you're the coolest fucking dude in the world. So I'll believe you. Like,
right. And it's not like rarely do we get big artists from the West Coast that aren't like just some thugged out gang banging, shoot 'em up type dude. So I think that's also another factor is like people can recite the lyrics and relate to him more if it's just talking about getting money and hustling and getting girls and stuff versus like I rep this block and you know I'm shooting at the ops and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was again, we need more people, like to your point earlier, we need more artists to be like that, right? As opposed to the pandering of what hip hop should be. So all right, man. So again, we'll let the people put in the comments what they think about Larry June. If we're crazy for our takes, we understand. Don't blame us. It's just the upbringing. It's okay. All right, but I did want to bring up one thing, and I wonder, I guess the overall question is if this artist got enough flowers for what his impact on hip hop overall was. And that artist is 50 Cent. All right. And the reason this thought came to us was because in the Tyler Creator album, which we said Tyler's fucking eccentric as fuck, but Stuntman was a clear like nod to Stunt 101 by G-Unit in the early 2000s, right? And I started to think, I'm like, bro, that's pretty wild that Tyler the Creator in 2023 is maybe not sampling a G-Unit song, but dude, there was still like enough, like, bro, you heard Stunt 101 recently, like, yo, let me make my own version of that, right? Because that's what this song is. And I'm like, dude, does this guy get enough flowers for what his impact on hip hop was, right? Because again, he came out with his music, he had a good career in that. Again, I know he's still around, but then like, dude, the pivot to like producing TV shows was so aggressive, but also so overly successful that I think people forget, like, yo, 50 was the fucking man. So just the overall question, do you think there's enough credit and due given to 50 Cent?
I'd say so. Maybe not if we're talking about like, I feel like for a lot of people, the barometer for like whether or not someone is respected is if they show up in enough top 5 lists. I don't think, oddly enough, people consider him like one of the best lyricists ever. Impact wise, I definitely think he deserves to be up there for sure, 1,000%. But I'd say if he isn't, I think a lot of it's his own doing. Like he chose to pivot to like movies and TV and stuff, and he also has a super abrasive personality and he's gone into so many beefs and shit. It's like if he does feel like hasn't gotten his flowers, I feel like it's all his doing. Like I don't think anyone.
It's like self-inflicted almost, because like the beef shit can only go. You like, yo, you can't beef with everyone, bro. Like,
yeah. So
that's fair.
Sure, he could have more respect than whatever he does now, but I think it's really his own doing. Like he doesn't really make music anymore. He'll pop up every now and then and make fun of some like random female video TV host or some shit, and then like he'll disappear again and then get sued or sue somebody, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Like I almost forget he made Get Rich or Die Trying,
which I think is the highest selling hip hop album of all time, right? And so that is, yeah, no, I get it though. Like a lot of this could be self-inflicted, right? For sure. All the beefs, bro. And then he started beefing with people who were super popular. And it's like, bro, like don't make us choose, because like the person you're beefing with is also giving us quality music compared to you right now as well. So
right.
I think when he was beefing with like Ja and Jadakiss and Fat Joe, it's like, bro, you're clearly the better rapper. So like you're bullying, but we fuck with it because you're doing better music. But when he started going at like Rick Ross, I think everyone's like, bro, like we kind of like Rick Ross. So like, don't cross that line.
That was the best comeback ever. I still remember Rick Ross like not being phased at all, and just came back with hits and good music. Hits.
And like, dude, the video, I mean, 50 Cent did like, again, it was more the pandering and clowning. Yeah. Because he had that one video, like his baby mama, take her shopping. Like, bro, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yo, Rick Ross wasn't phased, bro. There was one video that he had the a Yeezy sneaker in his hand, but was singing like a 50 Cent song, because that's like when 50 lost to Kanye, like in that battle. And I'm like, bro, the sheer confidence to like not be phased by 50 was so impressive, bro. Because I think most people like, they didn't like getting dissed by him, but like, yo, I'm not gonna really clap back because like I don't want to deal with that, like, you know, that overwhelming like, holy shit, bro. Like, okay, it was one song, move the fuck on. Like, because 50 would fucking like do his best to end your career.
Right. And I think it does help that Rick Ross, he's like a big dude, deep voice, kind of had that boss persona. So I think people took him a bit more seriously than Ja Rule, who's like fucking 5'4", even though he has a deep bass voice. Like people are like, oh, okay, 50 Cent is just a monster compared to this dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I would say, man, I don't know. I maybe because it's too close, and maybe because there wasn't a big enough gap between him like exiting hip hop per se and entering like the Hollywood world. So maybe that there was just too much overlap. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like I think back to like, I mean, this is forever ago, but like when Will Smith stopped rapping, when Will Smith was rapping, he was already an actor. You know what I mean? So I'm sure like that gap started opening up wider and wider, than people could appreciate one or whatever. But I will say, bro, I think for what 50 Cent did for music, bro, like the ability to make such catchy hip hop hooks and like, dude, like, and just quality songs and like, dude, like just for that, dude, I think we spoke like 3 episodes ago, like, dude, like those G-Unit mixtapes, bro, like they really made you forget that some other artist had that song and like that's their song, but G-Unit's version is so much better. You're like, yo, fuck that other version. Yeah. Like to do that, yo, month after month with those fucking who can mix, yo, that in itself, bro. And like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like what he did for hip hop to bring it out of whatever that stage was before him to what it became from him and then jumped off on, like, bro, I think it was needed. Like it was a necessary thing, bro. Like what he did for the game, like literally the artist, and then just like hip hop in general. I was like, bro, like though even it was like a 4 or 5 year run, like that 4 or 5 year run was needed because I love Jay-Z, but I think hip hop was getting stagnant. Like you were just waiting for like a Jay-Z or a T.I. album, and you're like, bro, like fuck, man, there has to be someone else here. Like,
yeah, that run was super impressive. I almost feel like at the peak, do you think at their peak, we heard more about them than we did Drake? Or like people were trying to emulate them more than Drake? Because I feel like at a certain point, I couldn't go anywhere without seeing a G-Unit hoodie, hearing a G-Unit song. I know Drake was as ubiquitous. I just don't know if everyone necessarily was like trying to be like Drake.
Yo, so I will say that I think so. I mean, the answer for me is no. I agree with. I don't think so. But the thing is, I think in the different eras, the barriers to entry into hip hop were so like, you know, severe back then compared to now. So now artists now fans now have so many options, right? Yeah. Dude, imagine if Larry June existed in 2003, and you would look like a fucking crazy man if you're like, Larry June's the greatest rapper of all time, and I'm gonna only dress like him. You're like, bro, who are you talking about? Like, I don't know who you're talking about, because like he wouldn't exist in that time, right? Because I really think back then, like, you only had 4 options. You know what I mean? So even now, Drake in his heyday, there's still so many. There's so many people who still don't even listen to Drake. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even in their like hemisphere. Whereas back then, like, if you were a hip hop fan, like, yo, you either like 50 Cent, which was hip hop, or you like Mos Def and like Talib Kweli. Like, then you were like a weirdo. You know what I mean? Like you like backpack rap, or you like the fucking hardcore shit. There was no in between. There was none of these mini genres. So that's why I think the 50 Cent weight was heavy at that time, bro. Because he was the best doing it. And he was, at that point, if you were the best, that means you were the only thing being played on the radio, bro. Like, if you think Lil Wayne had a lot of features during his run, bro, 50 was on every remix that ever came out during that time.
No, that's a great perspective, which makes it even more pointless when people are like, Drake is better than this person, Lil Wayne did it better than this, or Nas is better than that. And it's like, the times are so different, like literally every few years, not even like it's different now than it was 2 years ago for a variety of reasons. So I think that's why it's crazy trying to make these comparisons. I know it makes for good conversation, but your point you just made, it's like, is it really apples to apples? And the answer is no.
Yeah, no, the answer is no. But again, obviously not, it doesn't diminish like what Drake is doing, because it's like, bro,
100%.
When there's so many there's like no barriers to entry, you still a top guy for 10 years, it's like, fuck, dude, like, all right. Like, but yeah, so we'll get 50 some flowers today. But I agree with you. I think probably why he doesn't get enough flowers, that I do think that like he did the pivot too quickly. But I think it's self-inflicted also. I think a lot of people towards the end of his like rap career were like, bro, like, we get it, man. Like, you want to fight everyone, move the fuck on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're still gonna like the other guy. Because I think that was the thing too, bro. When he beat for other people, he was like, bro, if I don't like him, no one can like him.
Oh yeah, like,
and it's like, bro, that's not how life works. Like,
I know. And it wouldn't even be for like a legitimate reason, like, oh, he banged my wife. Like, if you're around him, you're condoning that shit. It would just be like, I don't like the last song he put out. Now I'm gonna like threaten to kill him. And if you don't do it too, like, we're not friends anymore. We're not friends.
Like, like, it's on site. You're like, bro, like, I get it, bro, but like, I really enjoy Jadakiss's music. Like, I really like enjoy it. So.
Right.
Oh man, but shout out to 50 Cent. That was a great G-Unit run for sure. And then one more thing before we get into some heat of the week and get out of here. I know we want to talk about the impact that AI is having on music. So I'll let you take the lead on this one, obviously, because a little bit more in your domain.
For sure, yeah. I mean, AI is moving very, very quickly. At this point, it's pretty much impossible in a lot of cases to discern the difference between like a real Kanye voice versus this AI voice. There's definitely imperfections that give it away. And obviously a lot of these remakes, like, someone else did the original. Yeah. But it's really impressive. Like, there's some songs I heard remakes where I'm like, you know what? I might like this song better, the one Kanye doing it, or Drake's version or whatever. So I think it's awesome to find answers to the what could have been, like, what if Kanye did this song, or what if Drake did that. I guess my fear isn't even necessarily within music, but people using that voice feature to trick people into doing things, getting money, sending through private information and things like that. Musically, I think it's dope. I mean, it's still art in my opinion, so long as You're not releasing anything that shouldn't be released. I feel like the labels should allow people to do it and just monetize it if they want to keep the proceeds from it. But I think it's dope for a variety of reasons, just being creative in general.
I do like that your take on like, it's dope about like, oh, what if like we would have had like a Biggie Tupac song back to back, right? And like, how would have that sound? Whatever. But then like, is it a little bit like I guess the line, like what's the line, right? Is it scary? Because I was thinking like in that moment, like also like, dude, but what if they just started like creating more Tupac albums now? And we get like a new Tupac album every single year because of this, right? Like, should we enjoy it? Should this even be allowed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like the confusing part. Like, it's one thing to have a fucking like whatever they had at Coachella, like what was it, the holograph of him? But like to have new music of like deceased artists. Like, I know this hasn't even come out yet, but I'm just saying, like, if they have the ability to do the Kanye stuff, which is like obviously the one that's most popular now, they can obviously do it for artists who are no longer here. Like, what if we got like a new Pop Smoke album tomorrow that someone wrote and just put Pop Smoke's voice over it, right? Like, should we enjoy that? Should that be allowed? I don't know. That's like, that's where I'm like, dude, where's like the moral ethics of this?
Yeah, I think that definitely would be an unethical, in my opinion, and that's kind of scary. It's almost like we're already at a point where, you know how people back for the longest time were like, hey, what if you could download your consciousness or your family member's consciousness who's no longer here, and you can like type to them and stuff. But if you know deep down this isn't them, like, do you even want that? Like, I don't want to hear Tupac rapping about Bitcoin and shit. Like, it would just be weird. Even if his family co-signed it, like, that's not him. Like, I'm not gonna bump it.
That's it. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's like, what if, like, like the label and the family are allowing it? You know what I mean? And like, or they lie to us and it's like, oh no, we found these albums. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, like, what if you didn't though? You know what I mean? Like, that's the scary part, bro. That's why I get like why labels. I mean, there was a rumor that Universal is like shutting it down if they see it posted on any like, you know, public domains. I think certain countries are already banning ChatGPT because they're like unaware of what the consequences are just yet. So I guess that's just the scary part in this new phase, right? Again, like we mentioned before, like I think whenever the new thing comes out, there's always fear of the unknown. But with this specifically, where like you can clearly see where this could be abused, I just hope that we never get to that point that we're being duped or we're being pushed certain things that we're like, bro, like, yeah, like it's fine to listen to, but like, should we be listening to this shit?
Yeah. I think that's a possibility for sure. And I just thought of another one. I think there may even be a point where, I mean, people already edit their vocals to a degree, but usually you can tell it's the person still.
Yeah.
Whereas now I wouldn't be surprised if some dude is like, I identify as female, like, let me use the software and now I'm making songs as a female and releasing it, and that's my whole brand, and it's gonna be like that moving forward. Or someone's like, oh, I want a deep voice like Pop Smoke or Rich Brian, and you know, they do some sort of software manipulation and now they've created this whole new voice that isn't even theirs, purely for making good music. And I think people are gonna like listen to it as long as it sounds dope and it isn't, you know, another artist that they already know. Yeah.
Dude, it's wild times, bro. And like you said, like this shit, I'm sure this has been like been brewing for years now. But it feels like ever since like December, it's like to the races. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's like crazy advancements. Like every 6 weeks, you're like, bro, what the fuck? Like, how do we go from I can answer all my essays online to I have a Kanye Drake song that never came out? Like, how do we get here?
No, I know it's scary. And I keep seeing this comment that's like, it really puts things in a perspective, but it always says, keep in mind that this is the worst AI is ever going to be from this point forward.
It's only going to get better.
Close to perfect. Yeah. If it's close to perfect damn near now, imagine what it will be in like 5 years.
Yeah. Because like there's moments where you think this shit's going to slow down, but then you're like, nah, dude. Like, nah, we just have to be more diligent about the shit we allow. But the idea of it is just going to be propelled. Like, again, it's just easier to propel shit now in modern society with like all these different media outlets. So yeah, wild times. And again, I also do think there's going to come an artist in the next year that does a phenomenal job of using it. And we're like, you know what I mean? Because dude, the thing about it, like, if you would have told someone in 1997, so 10 years prior to T-Pain taking off, that an artist will be able to be so successful using auto-tune, they'd be like, bro, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, people are gonna hate that. Like, it's not like a robot. Or he could be the most popular hip-hop R&B act for like 5 years straight and become a fucking gazillionaire. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm sure someone's gonna come around in the next like year or so that perfects it for that moment. And like, that's gonna be like the hottest thing out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, someone's definitely gonna figure it out. I almost feel like, I mean, we'll see how this whole regulation thing goes with using the voices of other artists, but I wouldn't be surprised if DJs start making some crazy mashups like how they used to do. Remember back in like, I don't know, 2008 or some shit, when I think there was a mashup artist called, forget his name, but he would just basically take beats from popular songs and layer the vocals of rappers from popular songs, and it would be like what's her name, MIA mixed with like, I don't know, Drake or something, like a song that never happened. So I feel like a lot of people are just gonna do the same thing with Kanye's voice, whoever, and just make mashups, and people are gonna mess with it until, you know, it gets banned.
It gets, or they, like I said, or they're gonna have to just pay like insane royalties because of it, right? And that's how like the labels can like allow it, but it's under like their control. But dude, interesting times, bro. Interesting time, right? And it's gonna be, which is why like in a time like that, and let's have to bring it back, and you still have people who are like really into Larry June. Like, it's just such extremes, bro. Like, it's just like, it's such extremes of like what music can be. So again, we'll see. And obviously we'll keep you guys updated. But before we get out of here, episode 138 almost in the books. My guy, what is some heat of the week that you want to share with the people?
Yeah, so this was a pleasant find as I was browsing YouTube last week. An artist who I hadn't heard from in damn near forever, Omarion.
Oh shit.
So this song is self-explanatory. It's called Big Vibes. It is a big vibe. He has a dance video on YouTube for the song, and I don't know, it's a very simple but upbeat banger of an R&B track. His vocals sound clear and perfect as day, and I've been listening to it nonstop for the past week. And I know we've kind of been for the past few weeks talking about older artists and, you know, this and that. And I feel like right now I'm kind of in an R&B phase. I feel like those guys are putting out the majority of good music recently. So I'm glad I found that one. That one is super dope, and I think would fit a lot of different moods.
So that to me for sure. So, but is this like a older song that you just happen to find, or it's like a new song?
New song. He released this like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh shit, that's dope. Yeah. Okay. So older artists coming out with new content. That's dope. That's dope. Yep. Nice. I'll definitely add it to the playlist. For me, I'm gonna go back to the Tyler Creator. I really truly enjoyed the bonus tracks. And we've been talking about for a while now how enjoyable Vince Staples is. So Stuntman, Tyler Creator, Vince Staples, fun, talk your shit track. Production quality is crazy, banger from the jump, and they're not even trying to hide it. I can appreciate that. And then DJ Drama just doing what he does on every track is always enjoyable. So I would say Stuntman for me is my hit of the week.
Nice. Yeah, love that one. Vince Staples, I know you sent the
Jay-Z
article about him. Yeah, Jay-Z saying that he's just like a super intelligent, creative individual. And he's someone who I think deserves more flowers, because I know part of it might be his own doing, kind of just being less in the spotlight and trying to avoid that. But yeah, he's phenomenal. He and Tyler make a good duo.
Yeah, and it's funny because again, it's like sometimes I get caught up in the like almost what you were saying about like, you know, maybe Larry June resonates more with people in California because like the sound is like almost nostalgic in a way. That's why I get excited about like Vince Staples. I'm like, dude, like the shit he's talking about is stuff that, again, yes, you can relate to if you grew up like in an impoverished neighborhood or whatever, but it's also very LA, California specific. right?
Yeah.
And it still feels very much universal, like hip hop that you can consume and enjoy regardless of where you're from. So that's why, like, I feel like he deserves even more credit than most artists, because it's like, bro, like, you're taking a very specific story and making that shit so like appeal to so many different kind of people. I feel like that's like true artistry. You know what I mean?
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, but all right, my guy, that's it. Great episode, great catching up. Missed you. Let the people know what we got going on and where they can find us.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week. We have the Spotify and Apple Music playlist up there as well as the merch. If you're on YouTube, check the description box below to copy something. But yeah, other than that, tune in next week. Of course, new content that you can share with your friends, family, whoever else. Please be sure to like and subscribe and donate as well. I don't think we've gotten any donations up until this point, so that link is there as well. Yeah, not a single.
Yeah, we gotta make that.
Got
shit.
some purchases, but
yeah, we gotta put that in the maybe like as the new thing, like on the like TikTok videos, like instead of like follow, just like donate.
I know. I mean, there's some people on TikTok who literally it was like a trend for like 2 weeks. Like random girls would just be like trying to see like how many people fill out this GoFundMe.
Well, like cash out them or something?
Yeah, for no reason. Just like trying to see if I can raise like 10 grand and
they did.
Yeah, just random ass people would donate $1.
Bro, insane. Did you, speaking of AI though, did you see that thing where like France is like if you use any kind of filter on your Instagram pictures as an influencer, you have to put a disclaimer in your captions?
Yeah, I did see that. That's
pretty wild, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I support that, bro. Even though we all kind of use like filters or whatever, but I know like, again, sometimes with these individuals, you're like, bro, like there's no fucking way you look like this.
Yeah. There's a difference between like.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying there's a difference between like lightening it up a bit and changing the hues and shit. But when your nose is like super stick thin and your eye lenses are different colors, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then like you're chopping off like half your fucking hip and shit just to make like, again, dude, I feel the worst for women, bro, to be perfectly honest, man, because like they gotta live up to the standard of like, bro, that shit is not real. It's not real. You know what I mean? So like it's not even like before in the day it was like, I mean, for guys like, oh dude, but he has a personal trainer. Like it's no big deal. But for women, it's like, oh no, like you can be that. It's like, no, that's not real, bro. I can be legit every day, eat the right meal. That's never going to happen. So I'm not against what some countries are doing. But all right, my guy, I love you. Appreciate you, obviously. We'll talk soon. Peace.